What's up, everybody? Welcome. Just gonna get things set up and we'll be ready to go. Good, crazy episode today. Okay. No, hold on. Restart. All right, we're good and ready to go. Let's begin. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On this week's episode, we've got WBC update all the way up till the final. That pick that is tonight. We've got March Madness first two rounds recap with schedule that's for the round upcoming starting on Thursday, and NFL news and more all coming up. Let's start. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 671 of the Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. One quick thing I wanted to start off the episode with. So if you were here last year, you remember around early April, I think it was. Last year I did a opening night, late night MLB The Show early access stream for the channel as a subscriber reward stream. I did it late at night, so I didn't get a lot of people in. But I did that last year. This year, I'm debating on doing it again, but instead of it doing it late Thursday night or wee hours in the morning Friday, I do it more Friday morning, afternoon. And I wanted to leave it to you guys if you'd want me to do it. So let me know in the comments or live chat. If you'd want me to do the stream again, I'm more than willing to. Just let me know, and then based on responses, and I'll also put up something on audio so you guys can also vote there. But let me know and if I get enough yeses, I'll do a stream Friday morning. But just wanted to give an update there. I was at the Devils game on Thursday, which was actually a decent game. I mean, I'm not big into hockey, but actually not. So it was a pretty good game. The Devils lost in a shootout 4-3 in the end, but very good game. I knew it was over way before it was over. And yes, for a rare time on the podcast, just to talk about the game a bit more, I'm talking hockey to start off a podcast, unusual. But basically, in the game, I know like basic concepts of hockey, but I'm not like deep into knowledge about hockey. So the game I was at, there was a point, I think it was like second period, and it's 3 periods in hockey for those that don't know. 3 periods are all like I think 20 minutes each. But anyways, there was a point where on one play, 2 penalties, 2 different players, 1 penalty to 1 player, 2 players got penaltied, and the Devils had a chance of a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. 2 minutes of where you have a +2 advantage where they only have 3 versus you have 5. 5 is max you can have on the ice aside, well, and a goalie at one time. And either way, even with the 3, you still have the goalie, but 5-on-3. And they did not capitalize at all. They only put up 2 shots on goal and didn't capitalize. And the minute that the Lightning get back that 5-on-5, bam, goal to take the lead. That moment, I knew, game over, pack your bags. And I know it went to a shootout eventually, but I already knew at that point, game over. You're not coming back after that. Game over, head home, pack your bags. Done. I knew at that point. All right, so let's move on from that. I just wanted to mention that at least. Now let's get into WBC. So, finishing up Pool C and D and going over the quarterfinals and semifinals leading up to tonight's finals game in WBC. So for Pool C, Canada versus Colombia, it was all Canada winning 5-0. Otto Lopez 3-run homer in the 9th, sealed the win for Canada. The win for Canada. Mexico beat Great Britain 2-1. Alexis Wilson's two RBI singles, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 7th, led Mexico to a win. Mexico then whooped Canada, putting them as the winner of Pool C, 10-3. Randy Arozarena RBI double in the 2nd and 3-run double in the 6th. An RBI hit by pitch later in the game leads Mexico to first second-round trip since 2009. I thought it was 06, but then I re-looked up, and they had made the second round in 09, but not made it past the second round in 09. And then the last game for Pool C, U.S. versus Colombia. U.S. won 3-2, thanks to the captain, Mike Trout's having a big day. RBI single in the 3rd. That gave him a 1-0 lead. And then go-ahead 2-run single in the 5th. That gave him a 3-2 lead that they would hold on to win to send them to the second round as the runner-up of Pool D. So the final standings for Pool C, Mexico in first 3-1, advancing as the winner. Followed by U.S. at 3-1, advancing as the runner-up. Followed by 2-2 Canada, who qualify for 2026 but do not advance. Followed by Great Britain 1-3, who qualify for 2026 but don't advance. Followed by Colombia at 1-3, but who do not qualify for 2026 and will be sent back to the qualifiers. Wrap up with Pool D, DR versus Israel. DR whooped 10-0, and this was the game. I put a rant up on YouTube Shorts. If you have not seen that, go check it out on the YouTube channel. This was like a major rant. This is the game that Jacob Steinmetz started. I had a feeling this was the game he was going to start. He ended up starting this game, and he pitched brilliantly. Half an inning and a half, 2 hits, 1 run all earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and he could have pitched more. He was only at 38 pitches, and they took him out. And people were trying to say, oh, don't let him face the lineup a second time around. Well-rested bullpen. Let him leave on a good note. You mean the bullpen that got shafted by Puerto Rico and then got shafted by the DR for 9 runs in a 7-inning mercy? Yeah, that was just a pathetic excuse. Israel in this game would finally end the perfect game when the perfect inning streak in this game, but it did not help as DR won 10-0. Puerto Rico versus Venezuela versus Israel. This was all Venezuela. Jacob Goldfarb RBI single in the 7th, scoring first Israel run since the Nicaragua win. 3-run first helped Venezuela advance to round 2 for the first time since 2009 as the winner. Well, they had officially advanced, but at that point, but they ended it undefeated as the winner, thanks to Israel losing to Dominican Republic. And then Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. This game was crazy. 4-run third helps PR Puerto Rico pull off upset, and DR not in. I messed up something here. But DR not in the second round for the first time since 2009. For the first time since 2009, Puerto Rico moved on as the runner-up. But then the sad news hit in this game that has wrecked WBC. This was the Edwin Diaz getting hurt during celebration, where everyone was saying, oh, this is a fake tournament. This is not a real tournament. They shouldn't cancel this tournament, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't agree with it. Yes, I feel bad for him. Yes, I hope he gets better soon, Edwin Diaz. It's sad to see. But to say to cancel the tournament for it is absolutely crazy. When this is a freak accident that could happen in spring training as easily. Literally a freak accident. It's not like it happened during the game. I don't know. But either way, Puerto Rico advanced as the runner-up. And the final standings for Pool D, Venezuela 4-0 in first, advanced as the winner. Puerto Rico in second, advanced as the runner-up. Dominican Republic at 2-2 did not move on, but qualified for 2026. Israel in fourth at 1-3, qualified for 2026. And then Nicaragua, who do not qualify for 2026 at 0-4. As I predicted, literally where everyone's team's automatic, every team in Pool D's automatic win. Quarterfinal number 1 between Australia and Cuba. 3-run fifth by Cuba helps them win and go to the semifinals for the first time since 2006, where in 2006 they ended up winning and getting to the final, but losing to Japan in the final. This was a crazy game that Cuba just did more than enough to be able to win. A great tournament for Australia. They definitely have what to be proud of, especially this being for Liam Hendricks, who had caught cancer recently and was not able to participate for Australia. Them pull off what they did is amazing and just great for them in general. And then Italy, Japan, 4-run third helps Japan beat Italy 9-3. Italy had tried to fight, but were no match for Japan. Japan moved on to the semifinals. Finals. Quarterfinal number 3 between Mexico and Puerto Rico. Mexico won this game 5-4 after 4-run first by Puerto Rico, which ended with back-to-back homers from Eddie Rosario and Javier Baez. Mexico came back to win and advance the semis for the first time ever, 5-4. And then semifinal number 4, the game of the quarterfinal game. 3-1 first for USA. Went up 3-0. Venezuela made it 3-2. Up 5-2. Venezuela put up a 4-run fifth to take the lead. But then in the 7th or 7th, Trey Turner hit a go-ahead grand slam home run to send the U.S. to the semifinals to face Cuba. And so it was Cuba, USA, Mexico, Japan. Cuba, USA, this was all United States. Cuba got a run in the first, but U.S. took off from there. 4-run sixth helped them. And then Trey Turner had a 2-homer game solo in the second and a 3-run homer in the sixth. Helped USA advance to the final for a second consecutive year, looking to defend their to be back-to-back champions for the first time since Japan in 06 and 09. And speaking of Japan, the semifinal game of the best semifinal game there was, 2-run walk-off double from Munetaka Murakami, who's like the MVP from Japan, who's MVP in Japan, sends Japan to the finals for the first time since 2009. This was a crazy game. Mexico struck first with Luis Urias, 3-run homer in the fourth after Roki Sasaki was shutting them down at that point. Sandoval pitched great also. Japan would tie it eventually in the bottom of the seventh. Mexico would regain a 2-run lead, almost could have been 3, but Meneses was thrown out at the plate, and then Japan came back in the ninth with a 2-run walk-off double. And that is the semifinal. So that sets up tonight's matchup for the final. USA, who has Merrill Kelly going on the mound for them, against Japan, who Bob Nightingale, prior to the semifinal game between Mexico and Japan, had said that it seems like Yu Darvish would be starting for Japan if they make the finals, which would make sense. He's got major league experience against these guys. Wouldn't have been surprised. Except that absolutely got changed by the time that we actually found out. That was Bishoto Imanaga, who was a reliever for them pretty much throughout the entire WBC to this point for Japan, and playing in Japan for the last many years, and it's actually a pretty good pitcher from Japan. But it's just like shocking because like at the end of the day, they just had I don't get it. You literally have a guys. Now, Ohtani, it came out today that Angels were expecting him to be a reliever at this point and not a starter. Okay, so that's a bit different, and he might come out of the bullpen. But you have Yu Darvish, who could literally start for you, is available, but instead you go Shota Imanaga, and now both Darvish and Ohtani are out of the bullpen. Like, unless there's something we don't know about Shota Imanaga, I feel like Japan just has literally handed the gold medal to USA on a gold platter. Like, I feel like US is just about to win this game. All right, I feel like they've already won this game, unless we don't know something about Shota Imanaga that Japan does, which it's possible, but I feel like Japan's making a big mistake, and they're about to learn how big of a mistake they've just made tonight. But we'll see what happens. The game is at 7 p.m. on FS1 if you want to catch it. It doesn't exactly start at 7 a.m., but it's like the rough starting time. They have a whole thing before it actually starts. Probably won't be till more 7:30, give or take, but roughly 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, or if you're from a different country, find whatever station it's on. I'm not sure which one it's on. But yeah, that is the schedule. And I might put out an immediate reaction tonight to the final. We'll see. But definitely we'll have a reaction next week in next week's episode. So that's it for WBC March Madness, which we had some crazy stuff in March Madness from just the first round alone, and even the first 2 rounds in general. Round of 64, by the way, for March Madness this year, what I've decided is I'm not going to go through all of the games in each round. I'm just going to go through upsets where lower seed beat higher seed, because it's just less time consuming, and I feel like a better way of presenting than just going through all the winners. From the South bracket, which was from KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Louisville Cardinals basketball team. 13 Furham beat number 4 Virginia 68-67. Number 15 Princeton beat number 2 Arizona 59-55. That's it from the South. From the East part, which is actually an MSG here in New York City, 16 Fairleigh Dickinson became the second ever 16 seed to beat a 1 seed in March Madness history, beating number 1 Purdue 63-58. Number 9 FAU beat number 8 Memphis 66-65, which I actually had predicted that in my bracket. That's it for the upsets from the East in the first round. In the Midwest bracket, that was from T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. They had like the Big 12 basketball championship tournament there. Other than that, not much other big name use for there. Number 9 Auburn beat number 8 Iowa 83-75. Number 11 Pitt beat number 6 Iowa 59-41. And number 10 Penn State beat number 7 Texas A&M 76-59. That's all the upsets from the round of 60, from the first round. From the second round in the South, number 15 Princeton continued their run, beating number 7 Missouri 78-63. Number 6 Crane beat number 3 Baylor 85-76. From the East, Michigan State beat number 7 Michigan State beat number 2 Marquette 69-60. From the Midwest, number 5 Miami beat number 4 Indiana 85-69. And from the West, which is in the Vegas Golden Knights Arena, number 8 Arkansas beat number 1 Kansas 72-71, with Kansas being last year's champions. So far in my predictions, from my original predictions from last week, first 4 I went 2-2. Round of 64 I went 22-10, and round of 32 I went 77-9. Which total record, I forgot to calculate that before. 31 and 21. I just remembered I forgot to do grand total record so far. And then scheduled for the Sweet 16 on Thursday, Kansas State, number 3 Kansas State versus 7 Michigan State. That game will be at 6:30 on TBS. Number 4 UConn against number 8 Arkansas, 7:15 on CBS. Number 4 Tennessee versus number 9 FAU, at 9 on CBS. And then number 2 UCLA versus number 3 Gonzaga, 9:45 on CBS. And then on Friday, the 24th, it's going to be number 1 Bama versus number 5 San Diego State, 6:30 on TBS. Number 1 Houston versus number 5 Miami, 7:15 on CBS. Number 6 Crane versus number 15 Princeton, at 9 on TBS. And then number 2 Texas and number 3 Xavier, 9:45 on CBS. That is the schedule for the Sweet 16. Elite 8 will also be over this weekend. I will be covering both those rounds in next week's episode. That is it for for March Madness. And then there are a whole bunch of big NFL news has popped up since last week's episode. Raheem Mostert re-signing with Dolphins on a 2-year, $5.6 million deal. It was a decent running back for them last year. Juju Smith-Schuster has a new team once again, signing with the New England Patriots. Juju TikTok Smith-Schuster. 3 years, $25.5 million. Mike Gesicki signing, who was with Miami last year, signing with rival New England, 1 year, $4.5 million. Aaron Rodgers says, though there hasn't been official trade being done yet, that he's going to be playing for the Jets next year. No trade has been official yet. But a move that might help, that really might want him to come to the Jets more, is the Jets signed Alan Lazard, a former teammate of his, to a 4-year, $44 million deal. The Bengals signed Orlando Brown, offensive tackle, junior, I should say, 4 years, $64.092 million, and has caused one of their other offensive linemen to want to be traded. Juan Thornhill, safety for the Chiefs, signs with the Cleveland Browns, 3 years, $21 million. Gardner Minshew finding a new team once again, signing with the Colts on 1 year, $3.5 million, fully guaranteed contract. Jimmy G finding a new team, signing with the Raiders, 3 years, $72.75 million. The Texans traded Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys for this year's 5th round and 2024 6th round pick. A big trade that came out of nowhere, but a huge addition for the Giants. They got Darren Waller from the Raiders for this year's 3rd round pick, which is the 100th overall pick. A huge trade for the Giants that will help them very much. Fletcher Cox re-signing with the Eagles, 1 year, $10 million. Brandon Graham re-signing with the Eagles, 1 year, $6 million. James Bradbury re-signing with the Eagles, 3 years, $38 million. Darius Slay, who literally got cut by the Eagles, just to be re-signed by them, 3 years, $38 million. And then Jacoby Brissett signing with the Commanders, 1 year, $8 million. That is all the NFL news between this week and last week's episode. And that is this week's episode of the podcast. Let's wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On next week's episode, we'll have the WBC final recap. We'll have the update on March Madness between the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. NFL news that happened between now and then, and anything else that could pop up between now and then. If you are new here, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to notify when I go live and or post a video. Of course, new on YouTube. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, and hit the notification bell to notify when I post on there. Please let me know if you want MLB The Show early access stream this Friday morning or afternoon in the comments, or whether in comments or YouTube or in a poll I'll post on audio. Maybe I'll even post a community tab poll. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week for episode 72. Bye-bye.